YouTube into the boat that we're Twitch and YouTube together. Welcome everyone to the Patch 020 Grand Reveal stream. And we know quite some things already, but I wanted to drop some predictions, some hopes and wishes to what we think should come with 020. The most important thing being Druid class. Because Huntress confirmed, but we want the Druid too. Because it's pretty much Dawn of the Hunt theme, so it would make sense to actually get the Druid as well. But we'll see. I'd like to see a crafting rework, but I doubt that that will happen. Do we truly think there's anything crafting-wise? Anyone in the chats? Raise your arm. Do you think they're going to do something for crafting? I can't see it. This is probably marked as unlikely. We're going to have Herald of Ice, Thunder, Nerve. That is more than secure that that will happen. I mean, could we see a Herald of Ash buff? Significant. New ascendancies for Merc, Witch, Monk, Warrior, they're confirmed more or less. That we're getting the third ascendancies for all the other classes. I mean, we have seen a Warrior ascendancy. We have seen a Witch Hunter ascendancy. So these are mercenary. These two are confirmed. I'm not sure, like, it would be weird to give us for two classes new ascendancies and not for all six. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's the link to watch this on Twitch? You can watch it, or you can watch it just here, Darcy. We're going to have the live stream pretty much happening with us. We're going to comment on it. If you watch on Twitch, you do get the Twitch drops too. And the Twitch drops are the Executioner's effect, which is actually pretty cool, I gotta say. So they have this here, early access announcement. You get the Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect. This one. When you kill a unit, boom, the guillotine just falls down. Looks like you're hacking. Attempted release as a surprise, I believe. I really don't think that any of the other classes but Druid makes sense, considering that, again, it's Dawn of the Hunt, it's a forest theme, so Druid would make the perfect sense, right? To come that way. Hunter is in Ranger tree, so might overwrite any Ranger changes. Hunter might get their own tree, Crazy Odd. Because if you look at the Sorceress and the Witch, they're both starting in the same tree, but if you start as a Witch, you get the minion nodes. And if you start as a Sorceress, you get more spell damage nodes. What I would like to see is more bleed-related support gems. Because we don't really have much bleed stuff. Riot, the POE True Drop will be available here on this channel too, yes. But the drops are not available yet. Spear was being showcased, and maybe a dagger if we're lucky. No, dagger is unlikely. I mean, the spear is for sure. There's no questions asked that the spear is coming. I mean, do we have the Dawn of the Hunt trailer? I look back into their Twitter. Let me see if we have the Dawn of the Hunt trailer again. Here, let's pull that up. Their Twitter. Let me make my PC, sorry. Like, if you have if you look at the Dawn of the Hunt trailer, you had here the person with a spear, so that's clearly the Huntress. And she says, like, spirits guide me. You have two characters. The interesting part is that's a male and that's a female hunter. And I don't know what that indicates, because usually classes are gender locked, right? In Path of Exile 2. So it's really interesting that we see a male and a female Maybe we get gender cosmetics. I don't know. Or it's indicating a different, like a mercenary with something like that. But since it's Dawn of the Hunt, I don't know. Druid seems to be like such a fitting concept for Dawn of the Hunt as well. We just use a monk and cosplay as a huntress. I mean, this is why I don't want to see the nerfs, because Huntress could use Herald of Thunder plus Ice very well. It's actually amazing because the Huntress has this ability of a spear throw that arcs out lightning. And if you have a spear throw that arcs out lightning and you have a spear jump that arcs out lightning, then the thought is, hey, what if the spear throwing and the spear arcing, what if we add like frost damage to that too? And then suddenly we have the Herald of Thunder Ice combo, and there we go. They'll nerf ice skills in general. I could see they did a stun nerf, so you can't like chain stun. It might be that they make it way harder to freeze someone, but we'll see. Herald of Thunder and Ice needs to stop kissing. I don't mind that Herald of Thunder and Ice is so strong. What I mind is that the Herald of Ash is so weak. I like Herald of Ash builds, but we barely have any fire support, so Herald of Ash feels like it's completely useless. Herald of the Plague Herald is still being used, right? Plague Herald ain't bad. People like the Plague Herald. But yeah. Hunter is most likely going to be ice poison based. I mean, we can open up the Path of Exile 2. Oops, I didn't download the update yet. Wow, they really put that big here with a mayor update announcement. Damn you, Path of Exile. Watch the live stream. Hey, chat, let's be supple and advertise our live stream. Boom. Do it. Do it. Don't even think about it. They're not doing anything about the end game. It could be an Act 4 release. I mean, I'm hoping for Act 4 release. That would be something I would really be keen on, right? If we could actually get Act 4. Unlikely that we will get Act 4, but I love it. We're most likely going to get Act 4, 5, and 6 together. If they need to definitely do something about the endgame, but I don't know what they can do. The endgame needs a big rework. The endgame doesn't need like a bit of... I mean, for me right now, I'm just happy to get the ascendancies because we get ascendancies for all 6 classes. So we have third ascendancy, for each class. That's what I'm hoping for because I really want to have all the ascendancies going on, right? How do you write ascendancy? Jesus, I have no clue how to write that. And well, he's just giving me German suggestions. Let's open Path of Exile for a second. They need Delve or some other kind of endgame. That would be great, Darcy. If we get Delve, if we get the tower-based endgame, if we would get... Actually, I would be very fine with Delve. Delve would add a really nice variety to it. I mean, at this point, I think every map needs to have a league mechanic. Like, my biggest upset is doing maps without league mechanics. By the way, this is my highest character right now. This is my monk. We recently beat the Arbiter with him in our solo cell phone challenge. It's a level 90 character. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. I mean, after 12 characters to 85, we finally made a 91. But there are 2 things I really want for endgame. And that is, number 1, every map should have a league mechanic. I mean, look where we are right now, okay? And if I want to work my way now towards this citadel, I'd already have to go, like, I don't know, there's no league mechanic, that's just a hideout. Here is at least the Delirium on it. Wait, so the Expedition or Delirium? Expedition. So we have here some, right? That's good. Boss fight. I don't even consider boss really a league mechanic because I think every map should have a boss. But if I would have to go here, this is like so boring. Sure, we can take the map and juice the map and then hope that it hits these 2. But, I mean, tops we can irradiate it. And irradiate is sure a level higher. But as soon as I have to go over a map without a league mechanic, I'm just bored. It's literally, I turn off my brain and I don't care anymore. And that makes me so sad. Like, you have to go along here and it's like leak mechanic, no leak mechanic, no leak mechanic sadness. You know what I mean? I just hate it. If you force me to do a map here without anything, like it's just like, no, I don't want to. I'm bored already. I'm that mayor and mayor are different words. I know Mantis, but I'm not native, so I'm allowed to do that. And it's fine. What we wanted to do is we now wanted to open the Thang, because this is where the Huntress is going to be, Chad. This is the Huntress side of the tree. And the Huntress side would start with projectile damage or evasion rating. So I would assume that this projectile damage is probably going to go for weapon damage, melee damage, two-handed weapon damage. I mean, something like here, the warrior who has increased melee damage. Because if you start with a spear, I don't think you want projectile damage. And so far, we also, like, if I go for spear, this is the only spear-related node, right? That's it. I mean, with quarterstaff, we have there. How many quarterstaff is there? It's like quarterstaff also has like one. So I guess having like one spear node is fine. What does the spear node do? It was increased damage with spears, increased damage with spears, damage with spears, damage, attack speed, critical hit chance, increased attack speed. We get critical hit chance. We get increased damage. We get increased wow, that's a lot of damage increase you get here. I like this quarterstaff tree more because the quarterstaff tree says this. Increased defense while wielding a staff. That's insane, right? Spear's a projectile. Yes, spear's a projectile. I understand that. That spear's a projectile. But are all spear skills projectile skills? If all spear skills are projectile skills, we're fine. I mean, you have the Path of Exile DB, so I can show you this. This is POE 2 DB. And you can actually check spear skills. So we can go for gems, and then you can enter spear. Wait, we can do lightning. There's shock, voltaire. I don't think it was called lightning spear. Was it what? Skill gems. Spear didn't work, I think. I saw the lightning recently. The actual lightning spear. It was, or was it shock spear or something like that? They might have taken the actual, what's it called again? Leaks out, sadly, because they used to be in the leaks here. I don't think they have them still. Storm Spear. What's called Storm Spear. There you go. Unknown gems. You get like here already Ice Spear for example, but it's obviously a leak or very old knowledge. Okay, Dariz, thank you 124 months of subscriptions. Dariz, big appreciation. Thank you for being here for such a long time as a subscriber. This one converts physical damage to cold damage, and then you throw that thing out. But would every hit count? Like, throw an icy copy of your spear that deals cold damage. After a short distance, it arms, massively boosting its damage. When the spear breaks against an enemy, it deals damage in a cone-shaped area behind them. This sounds like a very cool shot. Or you have the Storm Spear, where not too much is known. Throw a single copy of your spear. When it hits, it bursts out. And you can do more projectiles to get more bursts out of it. That would be also fully projectile based. And you get this spear field that I think creates like a spear crater around you. Maximum of 70 spears at a time. Could be funny. There's also something called Spear Vortex, but there's no knowledge about it. Are daggers a thing? Not yet. Daggers are a thing for the shadow. You need the actual shadow for it, and he's not out yet. Druid stuff need? I mean, we have everything for Druid, Steve. The whole Druid is done. It's kind of interesting because if you go back and you go POE 2 Druid, right? There is a whole video from Gamescom that is old at this point, but it does have here, we do have like all the abilities and everything happening. You do have the full rundown. Like, you can see him using lightning field, and you can, like, you have some rampage and slam skills. You get some bear form going on, and that's from 2023. I mean, technically the druid was done in 2023. They did not decide to release it with the druid because probably, I don't know why, you know? Shadow character, I do believe they're going to keep some of the more iconic, significant characters for the game release. Because they obviously want you to play the game release, right? They want 3 forms and more spells. As far as I understood, yes, they don't just want to give us bear form. They also want to give us wolf form and whatever form. So certainly they don't just like want to give bear form, which is okay. Like, it would be sad if it's just that. I mean, every game needs at least 2 different animal forms. Oh, for bird form as well. I want a crocodile form. Exactly, Doja. Why can't we get something unique once in a while? Why does it always have to be bear? Why couldn't have been gorilla and crocodile? I would love Crocodile Man. You could do a barrel roll. So you can slam your whole body on the ground, and then you roll sideways, and then you roll to the other side. And you can bite an enemy and just twist him with you. And if the enemy collides with other enemies while you're twisting on the ground, it's going to slap them in the face. Okay? That's the plan. You know what the fun part is? This is, like, you notice how old this video is? Because you have still the 5 potions here. And in the gems, you kind of see different color-coded stuff. It's kind of intriguing how the 2023 version has changed to the 2024-2025 version. And you could still gain XP for your gems. Huh, really? That was back in the days in the 2023 version. You still could get, like, see this? That's experience for the gems. Intriguing. You also had gold stacks in your inventory, huh? It's truly funny how much the version has changed to the better. I mean, if I have to carry gold stacks in my inventory, we're gonna be throwing hands. Okay? My clan and I have done all bosses more than 100 times. They need more boss fights, and they need more endgame. For me personally, I have now, I don't know how many hours do you have, guys? Now it's time to brag. So we have 404 hours in the game, and I have leveled up every single ascendancy from Frost Witch to normal warrior with the Pathfinder. We got Merc Ranger. We have our Invoker. We got a test, actually, for the Witch. Then we have an Infernalist. We got the Witch Hunter. We got another Invoker. We have a Deadeye. We have the Stormweaver. We have another Pathfinder. We have another Titan. We have a Mercenary from speedrunning. So we pretty much have, like, everything here. Chronomancer too. Detonate Dead, Blood Mage. Like, with the full package. Like, everything. Right? And I had enough content for, you know... I had enough content for 400 hours. I'm happy. But now I'm sitting at the point where, sure, I could now kill Arbiter and Zashed and then Arbiter again. But I don't find that interesting. So personally for me, I do need these ascendancies now. I do need the new class. I do need Act 3. Because I still like playing the campaign. But it's about time that I get something new to play for me personally, right? I want to have some exciting stuff to put out. And that's where the new ascendancies are looking good. But are they HC solo self-found? Sir, I'm sorry. I know I'm just a lowly content creator that does not deserve your respect, but they're just solo self-found. Love exciting new stuff. You and me both. But you know what I love to see, chat, the most? You know what the most important thing is I love to see? If you're going on Twitch right now, you can see that there are 162,000 people. Yes, you heard right. They're live. They're watching for a goddamn reveal. Nothing is happening tonight. There's nothing coming. This is just the reveal. I mean, yes, information, right? We can see stuff, we can get excited. But there's still so many people that are pumped and looking forward to this. I love that, because that's what I want. I want people to be excited for games. I would like to see that the community is as pumped as I myself am. Need to remove Herald of Thunder and Ice and make a Herald of Blood or Poison? I wouldn't say remove. The biggest issue is if they start nerfing these things. How's the game gonna feel? Right? We have one issue, and that is Jonathan Rogers said, okay? So let me write it out, guys. POE 2 devs said they want boss fights to be 3 to 5 minutes. We're talking Endgame boss. Endgame boss fights. So they don't want you to blast a boss in a milliseconds. They want you to actually fight them and to go through the mechanics and to do these things. Now the question is, how much far are they willing to nerf to make this happen? This is my big concern for the patch. I don't mind having slower boss fights. That being said, nerfing everything to the ground only to stick to the vision of the game, is that going to feel good or not? I can't say. They could do that Herald of Ice and Thunder don't do either element damage. I mean that they only do the perspective type. End of the day, Silent, if you don't like how Herald of Thunder and Ice work together, then don't play it. I don't mind the interaction with Herald of Thunder and Ice because I only use it on my monk. Like, only my monk is using that combination. I haven't used it with any other character. Right? If they nerf into that direction, they need to buff player survivability for a similar amount too. That's true. If they nerf the damage output, they need to do something about player survivability, because if I have to now fight a boss for 3 to 5 minutes, I need to be able that I can do it. Will be like Diablo Season 6, everyone on one broken class, Barris? Yeah, but where's the problem, Barris? I mean, this is a early access. If they now release a broken Huntress, everyone will play it. But yeah, there's only so much you can play a class until you just try out something different. Wonder if I could make a full-on bear build druid. Yes, you can. I mean, right now, Druid has already been confirmed to definitely have a bear form and get more animal forms. So that's good. There's always the saying, players will optimize the fun out of games. Players will. Good afternoon, everyone. We have 4 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Excitement lies ahead. Bear form looks clumsy, kind of like Warrior. I don't think it will be good or fun to play, to be honest. A lot of people said that about Warrior. That Warrior is no fun to play. And for me, it's the most fun to play. As long as spread cheating exists, there'll always be something weird with the fun of the game. I don't think that optimizing the fun out of games is a problem for the casual player. Let's be honest for a second. It's kind of like the same with all the gaming drama. You know the gaming drama about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, correct? I recently talked with a friend about Assassin's Creed Shadows. I recently talked with a friend about if he knows about all the AC Shadows drama. He has no clue. But he's also a person who has a console to play games, and that's it. So, you know, like, will a Herald of Ice Thunder nerf? This is, right? This is a problem. Like, that people are killing bosses in a couple of seconds is not really a problem for the average player, because they're not reaching this status most of the time. Most of the time. I suck at this game, so I have no opinion. I'm at gear wall and can't clear stuff fast enough, so I'm stuck at level 96 in tier 15 maps. But you made it to level 96, Luke. That's amazing. My highest character is 90 because I don't care going further than that. They will nerf something. Oh, they will 100% nerf something. But I'd rather see them buff everything. So, less nerfs, chat. Okay. Less nerfs, more buffs. Because end of the day, we don't gain anything from nerfs, right? Nerfs are going to make all of us sad. But if they buff stuff that's not so good, that's great. But some stuff will certainly get... Are we going to lose all of our currency and items? No. Okay. So, all content will be available to everyone, and all their characters. Plus, you can start with an economy reset. So, the content should be available for you. If you just want to make a new char, with your stash you can. But you can also make a new character on the Season 1 realm with an economy reset. That's kind of like how they hinted at it so far. But we'll get to know everything in detail today. I'll be keeping up a notepad with all of these things. And you'll obviously get a TLDR stream as soon as possible. Guess they won't be stripping the EA tag anytime soon. The game got released on the 6th of December, correct? Was it 6th of December? Early access. So we're what, like 6th of January, 6th of February, 6th of March, 6th of April would be 4 months in to the early access. Yeah, I don't think the 1 year plan is accurate. Unless patch 02 is ginormous. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, unless patch 02 is so enormous that you're all gonna say, wow, that's huge.
Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect.
Let's close
now,
this
in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt update. We'll cover a new class, 5 new Ascendancy classes, and huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems. After that, it's on to the endgame improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now, we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
Is the sound loud enough? Do we have to make it louder?
We as Mary are guided by the Spirit. It provides prey, shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The Spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all I loved, I used it.
She found a skill gem.
I lost everything that day.
And was kicked out for it. So
But
sad.
fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must, no matter the cost. I will hear the spirit once more.
It's a good origin story. There's a spear on the ground, so like spear field, fire spear. Love to see it. What was that poison stab that went forward? Okay, wind spear outwards. Wow, that was lightning wave. So wait, Jacobo. Why can you Jacobo ride? Rogue Exile. 100 years support. 100 plus. Calm down. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. Log in Exile. Woo! God damn it, Path of Exile. You bunch of shitters. You dummy. Well, that patch is big.
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to POE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village.
His microphone.
As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash,
That fire
but unlike
spear
other
looks
melee
so good.
weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to
Just
make it
like
fun
a
to both
shield
enter
block.
and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion.
Oh, cool. So you
Once
spam
you're
them
out of
and then
there,
go
you'll
boom.
want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes. These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times. You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage.
Cute.
In her offhand,
Very
the
cute.
Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, Parry. While holding down Parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike.
Uh-huh.
Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge.
And gives you a frenzy charge. That's easy.
Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're going to get stunned and possibly killed. You can
She fell
combine this
over.
combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion from the disengage and the Whirling Slash. The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast.
Explosive spear,
All
like
spear
with
throws on the
fast
Huntress
forward.
can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these
So
empowered
combat
versions can
frenzy
activate
with
even more
frenzy
combos.
charges and explosive spear explosions.
Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion. Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well. And you can do similar combos with ice and lightning too.
Yeah, Herald of Ice and Lightning, Chad.
Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your
Blood
enemy.
build. A bleed build,
Follow
really?
up, disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you.
Yes.
On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced.
Yes.
And the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust
so
forward
good,
and
a
cause
bleed
a bloody
hunter is.
explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion.
And then blood
If you want
loss
to cause
explosion,
bigger
how
bleeds,
great.
Try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears either in the ground or in your enemies.
Fantastic. Like, already
Now, as well as
multiple
hunting
builds
animals,
possible,
Huntress
huh?
also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion. You can only have one companion at a time, but
Pardon
it will
me?
keep the mods that were on it. Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of your ability to tame them.
I might have misheard that you can
Now, this is
collect
just the beginning
Pokemon.
of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slaying hundreds of
22
insanely
new
powerful
skills. Let's
spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky.
Can I use the monster taming on other classes? Chad?
But we still haven't talked about ascendancy classes yet. What can the Huntress ascend into? Well, the first ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague.
Blood explosion.
The
Corpse
Corrupted
detonation.
Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile blood boils on their skin. When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them. The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped.
No.
Now, this
No.
is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
That seems cute.
Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice with As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
Huh.
The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power,
Oh,
causing
no.
any projectile attacks to explode on impact.
Yeah, Herald of Ice and Lightning, Chad.
The Critical Strike skill
That's
is
the
as
new
simple as it
invoker.
sounds. It
That's
takes
the
your
new
excess
invoker.
accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance.
Yep.
Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and as Mary Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana.
Yeah, an
So those are the 2 new
auto-regenerating.
ascendancies for the Huntress.
Yeah, oh
but
my
those are not
goodness.
the only ascendancies
That's
in
like
Dawn of the
Invoker.
Hunt. We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation.
Okay.
You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you. A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this ascendancy class tree looks a little
This is crazy.
abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now
Body
in true
armor
blacksmith
grants against
fashion,
you
you get to
reduced.
craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense.
Interesting.
Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills
Projectile
like
damage
suppressing
builds
fire,
pin.
which causes
I
all
like that.
projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we want them notable,
Pin enemies can
your
perform
pin not only
actions.
stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The
I'm not
watch how we
excited for
do it
multiple
skill
banners.
gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In
The Lich.
Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have Unholy Might, granting extra damage
not
as
unholy
chaos
mana.
damage.
Lose mana per second. Ah.
Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain. Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
Curses can affect hexproof enemies. That's cool.
It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class.
Nice.
So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we previously talked about the Raise Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made
Yes!
available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel. Raise Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game,
People are gonna freak out about that.
which you can then summon in the skill panel. Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster.
That's
You
going
could
to make
summon an
very
army of
interesting
weak
builds.
monsters.
It's gonna
Or
make
a
so
few of
in
the more
like
powerful
look at these.
You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a
Jesus.
while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best.
Gonna find out
Now
who
let's move on
buffs.
to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here.
Yeah.
To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems.
That's crazy.
Hema
100 new
crystals
support
will
gems.
enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage
Bleed,
over time
bleed,
you would have
bleed,
done
bleed,
into
bleed.
explosive vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks.
Can you make
But there's
Caltrops
plenty
freeze?
more for every playstyle, such
Jesus
as
fucking
enormity.
Christ. Minions from supported skills do more
Unsteady
size,
tempo.
life, and damage. Yeah, this is not just change. Like, this is
Profanity.
gonna make me play every single class again. Every single class, every single ascendancy. I have to do everything again. I have to
Retaliate.
rebuild all my characters, change all the supports, make new videos on everything.
Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word. And many more. Now, we've talked about a new class, new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and endgame tiers to make
That's
sure
great.
there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters.
Thank you.
Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance.
Oh, that's
The
fantastic.
Coming
I can use that
Calamity
with
allows you to
builds.
become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 Elemental Herald skills without costing any spirit. At the same time, it penalizes enemy resistances. Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic.
Yeah, they're like,
or
fuck it,
Archmage
we're just
builds.
leaning full into
With
the
this belt, you can
ascendancy.
use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you.
Yo.
Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game.
That's a
Now,
good
given
way
that we
to
have
go
the
about it.
Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through the end game as well.
Bard Spear.
One
Add physical
example is
damage.
Cypher's
Oh, that's
Spear,
crazy.
which combines
It's a
bleed
good early
and fire
spear.
in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage.
Yep.
We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics.
Infinite
Calgyra's Arc, for
projectile
example,
parry,
allows
right?
you to parry projectiles from any distance.
Oh, and then they
And we're
get
also
stuck,
adding
like
our
they get
first
the
unique
primer.
charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from Ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find.
Can you
We
self-ignite
can't
with
wait
that
to see the
charm?
weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now, we also want to talk about crafting options. In each major update during early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for
Surprising.
now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have 1 tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by endgame. So we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before. Our plan is to significantly expand the number
Well
of more
done.
specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time.
So you can
And the
combine
first new
3
set of
to a
those
higher
comes from
tier
what we're
rune,
talking about
maybe.
next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmari hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters.
Okay.
Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmari culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if
Okay.
you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods.
Okay, but
As you
what does it
continue to
bring?
chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
That's great, actually.
Asmerian Wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods
Wow,
onto your
gloves gain
items.
range on melee hits.
Each one may only be used on a specific item slot.
Damn.
As mentioned, the Asmerian Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt
Thank you for your
monsters.
support. Slow down.
This map
Thank you for
always
your
has
support,
multiple
too.
Asmerian Wisps in
Welcome
it,
back to those
and
of you.
familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Asmerian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame
Aha.
Atlas tree as well,
Aha.
and by tablets.
A mound? Yes, you have summon mound from level
But
56 on.
I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in in-game, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes.
Okay.
The
Surprise me.
first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmeri Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps,
Okay.
all with their own custom encounters. Let's start with this one.
The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy.
Okay.
After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You
Oh,
must
cool.
fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from
Excuse
this map.
me.
The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects. As you move around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting 2 of the same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that
Okay.
can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence and be added to the imprisoned map boss.
Okay.
How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice.
I love
Speaking
this
of essences,
high risk, high reward
alongside visual
that they're adding.
improvements, you're now able to apply Varlorbs to corrupt the essences with a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number of essences, re-roll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences.
Oh.
What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have 4 new corrupted essences.
Oh.
Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity.
Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics.
Let's put
For
more...
example, the essence of insanity
Things in.
causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it. Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Varlorb used on the belt will
On
guarantee
corruption,
adding
item
2
gains
enchantments.
2 enchantments. Ah. Ah, interesting.
It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Okay.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles.
That one I
Others
like.
like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile. Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death.
I like that. This
They
is like
use the
really
same
cool.
skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation. Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground. So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with.
Wilson, there's an original.
These exiles are much smarter than your regular monsters.
Yes.
They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay.
Are they making them too good
Fortunately,
for the casual
they're like
player
you
to
and
handle
they're
that?
not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat.
Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes.
Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try to open them, they activate
Strongboxes
traps
don't
and
excite
spawn
me.
waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot.
Not at all.
Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently.
Surprise me.
The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster.
That's funny.
With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This Strongbox is infused with Thaumaturgy from Ancient File technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact
31
inside
packs of monsters.
and is guarded by Chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
Well, that's at least exciting
Now,
strong boxes.
let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps.
Yeah.
We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting.
Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective.
Okay.
On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the
Okay.
source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters.
Oh, they're
Corrupted maps
enemies.
existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once
Okay.
you reach the Nexus, you'll have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses.
That's cool.
Amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree.
That's
The
definitely
upgrade
better.
system that allows you
That's
to add
definitely better.
and enhance content in your
No
maps.
Act 4? No Act 4.
We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps.
Ah.
Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss, and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies.
Okay.
These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change.
Interesting.
If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting
yeah, then
base
I can
indeed.
just spam Chaos Orbs on it.
You must now
because
choose.
mine is safe, right?
Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed.
Yeah.
Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess.
Interesting.
Now, let's have a talk about towers.
One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically. So there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful.
Okay.
To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics.
That's good.
But that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before.
That's what I want to see.
We're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower,
fine.
but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers,
So you have to
while
do
drastically
towers
reducing
with
the amount of
hard
busy work you
waystones?
have to do.
To get the
On
most
top
out
of that,
them.
towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses.
Each tower map has a new boss.
That certainly makes
Let's take
towers
a look
better.
at a couple here.
The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning. It uses a full suite of lightning
Blackjaw
abilities. But be careful. If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up.
Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones.
Yes.
As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges.
Yes. But you can't
You
do
are
that on
able to
maps.
learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the endgame, you're effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain
Death
waystones.
penalty's gone.
By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps.
The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die. Continuing from where you left off. When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map.
And then you get less.
As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down.
Perfect solution.
This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times. But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time.
Yes.
Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the
Brilliant.
pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A
No
change
more
we've
weird
made here is that
one-shots that
all
just
pinnacle
ruin your
content
game.
now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either. Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2.
If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items.
I don't know what that
For
means.
example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop chances for the reliquary keys from this content as well. We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets.
Okay.
Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections,
Oh, great.
which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas.
Great.
And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics
50% chance to
there, and
find rogue
improvements to
exiles. That's
existing
so
ones
good.
too.
It's a complete new game, dude. They're
Through this
killing it.
live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about: Recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system.
Yeah.
So that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players.
Not for me.
It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition,
Hell yeah.
and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
I mean, now I finally
That
want to do
wraps up
expeditions.
all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify
finally
before
wanna
we
play
move
Endgame.
on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters.
You heard it.
However,
you don't have to reset.
there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
Yes. 5 colors. Think of the 3 months.
For all our
You're doing good.
existing early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com. Additionally, the Paladin and Penance supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2
They look
and
good.
contain 6 microtransactions each, and the full pack's face value in points. All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
I'm legally obligated to
We're
say
just
that.
about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release.
Damn.
Keep an eye
Damn
on the
son.
news. On
Okay.
release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and many new microtransactions, including Path of Exile 2's first alternate skill effects. Thanks for
Alternate
joining us
skill
today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to playing the Huntress, trying new builds, and exploring the new
Sadly, no
endgame
Druid.
next week.
Nope. But
We'll begin
they
the
made
Q&A
up for it with
shortly,
other
so
stuff.
please get your questions ready.
I mean, let's be fair. With all the things they're packing in, I'm fine. They didn't screw it up. Ziggy D a rapper? No, Ziggy D is a content creator. No new acts. No, we're not getting new acts.
Good morning, Exiles, and welcome to the Q&A.
Oh,
portion
they
of
screwed up the
today
sound.
after a very exciting reveal with
This is not me, Chad. This is the live stream.
exceeding my expectations, particularly in crafting. But on that note, we're joined here by Jonathan and Mark to talk about.
Let's see how the chat is going rabid.
Path of Exile 2. And,
Here.
You had an update about the recombination.
Yes,
first,
that's right.
though.
That's right. Yeah, so we actually last night had a bit of a design session and realized that we weren't actually fully
Yeah.
happy with the way the recombination.
Can we turn live transcripts
we actually
on?
made quite a big change to it, which wasn't
They don't
reflected
have
in the
that
video,
as well.
obviously, which is basically that we sort of wanted to.
I can't make. There's no louder chat. This is the live stream volume.
And we also kind of weren't really happy about the fact that recombinations is something that like kind of matters a lot for really, really ultra endgame players. It wasn't something that was really.
If we could only hear what they're
for,
saying.
Like, you know, people who effectively got access to the feature at the start. So we've actually changed it now so that the way it works is.
Oh,
that
this is
you pick
bad.
which
This
mods
is
you
bad
want
for GGG.
on the each item.
I don't have direct
And
contacts
then
to
it gives
them,
you a
so I
percentage
can't
chance
reach
of
out.
success based on the number you pick. So if you pick just like one from one and one from the other, then the chance is much higher. But if you pick if you pick 6 mods, it'll become practically impossible. So effectively, you know, like
You don't have a
more you're
YouTube
wanting to
stream.
design the item, the less of a chance of actually having success. So that means that if you just want to get like a mod, if you want to get an item with like, okay, these 2 mods that I found off the ground, that's you know, relatively easy. If you want to get an item which has, you know, all of them, then very hard. So we think that's a much better design because it means you can kind of use the recombinators actually become something that you can use.
This is the loudest I can make it for you.
From the first point you get them. But there's still this kind of end game, like, you know, like for perfect stuff, you might still be able to do it with more. It is kind of balanced though, so that like if you pick literally all 6, then it's going to be like incredibly low to the point of like don't even try that. But you know, like 4 mods might be a good thing to sort of be striving for, that kind of thing, and then exalt the other 2, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the new design of that. So hopefully that'll be in by the time 0.2 comes out. We've kind of got a plan for doing that. But yeah, like I think it's a much better design than what we had before for Recombination.
XP loss is still a
If it's
thing,
not
yes.
FO2O, it'll be as
very
soon as it can afterwards.
Very
But
soon,
yeah, you know, spur of the moment, night before the live stream design sessions.
Yeah.
But
Been a few of those.
increased player agency and visibility into the success result is just a win. And honestly, took way too long to, you know, get to the point of us actually going, oh, this is just straight up better to have observability into that and the freedom of choice. So.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Recombination definitely felt like something that was both really high end in terms of the crafting that it was intended for, but also just even understanding it. This seems much more intuitive because
You just pick what you
selecting
want.
the mods you want.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So it does sound like it's a little bit of a nerf for the very high end of crafting, though. Like,
It might end up being, but I'm not like it sort of depends on how the numbers come out. Like because we only just designed this, we need to still work out like exactly how the numbers end up looking. But I mean, look, we have to make sure. Obviously, whenever we're designing any crafting system, we have to be really sure that we're not like screwing over finding stuff on the ground. So you know, you have to sort of have that balance, and that's, you know, so that kind of informs everything we do with crafting usually.
One difference here, though, of course, is if the success chance fails, both
item's just
both
deleted,
items
yeah.
are destroyed, as opposed to always keep.
It's not actually live then. That presentation was not live. That presentation was pre-recorded.
So
what,
yeah.
roughly, what do you think you try to pitch just choosing 2 mods at? Like,
It depends on what mods you're selecting, but I'm kind
This
of
is
thinking
probably
like
pre-recorded too.
5%-ish kind of thing for like 2 normal mods, that kind of thing.
them both
Like
to
for them
go
both,
over?
yeah, for them both. For if you pick 2,
Yeah.
and then you know, but we'll
It
see.
kind of depends. Again,
It kind of depends. We'll see how we have to do
higher
some
tier
mathing.
mods are rare, and
Yeah, exactly. So it sort of
it
depends on the
also
situation.
the other thing is it's going to now have a fixed cost, so it's not going to
Yep.
you know.
And the idea is
dollar
like,
based on
yeah, and the idea is like doing a single expedition should be enough to do a recombination. So
I'm gonna be
you know,
honest.
you're gonna be doing
There's
like
pretty
relatively
much just
optimized
blabbering happening at this
so
point.
is the part of Expedition where you get to craft with the NPCs still a thing then? Now that you're adding this?
Yeah, I mean, you've still got that whole mechanic, and like, so it's effectively it's competing for the artifacts.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real, chat. So far, all the things they're adding are great. It's still a disappointment that we're not getting more acts or the druid, but they're certainly adding enough for me to want to play the lich, the tactician, the smith of Kitava, and the huntress with the 2
One
ascendancies.
in the other, yeah, or the outcome of one in the as an
Anyone
ingredient
seen
in the
anything
other,
about buffs or nerfs?
Cool.
No.
We'll talk more about crafting a little bit later on for sure, because there was a lot announced there.
Gotta wait
which
for
I'm quite
patch
excited
notes.
about. Definitely exceeded my predictions for what you'd be adding in terms
Right,
of crafting. But firstly, though, just a quick clarification on the league. So there's not going to be a wipe for the new players joining us.
Right.
If you were playing on a character, you can still keep playing on a character. But a lot of long-term Path of Exile players know the importance of playing on a fresh start, and that's also
Right.
really important for you guys as well.
For
right?
sure, yeah. I mean, basically, if we don't have like any character that's like
Those pictures on the
come
wall
from
are great.
before,
I
you're
want
just
them.
not gonna,
Did they say
like,
there was a
because
reset
the
for a new
balance
league?
is so different, and because so many things have changed.
You can either play a new league or you can play all the content without reset. You don't have to reset. Both things available.
Exclusive or rather, like what amount of content would be exclusive to the League versus not. And the issue that we had is that, so I mean, like a League means something in Path of Exile. You know, like in order for something to rise to the level of a League, it needs like a certain amount of features. And the original thing we were thinking about doing that way would be the Asmerian Wisps, but there wasn't quite like the kind of like meta mechanics and stuff with that. So like we didn't quite rise to the level of feeling like it deserved to be a challenge league. And at the same time, we've also got a lot of new players playing Path of Exile 2, never played Path of Exile before. So we were a little bit, like we kind of were deciding like, okay, should we make them exclusive or not? We sort of decided, you know what, for this one, we're not going to. And then what we'll probably try and do is for the next...
I hope they do not need to restart characters for new leagues. No, that will happen in the future, 100%.
We'll actually make it a proper challenge league with like its own exclusive mechanic and so
Patches 4th of April.
But yeah, it's a little bit funny because like an early access is a bit of a different situation.
New acts, no.
And so... Yeah, we'll sort of see how this goes anyway. But certainly I would encourage everyone just like start again on a new character. And I think, you'll have a
They
much
released a
better
blog
time,
post already
obviously, if
with this
there's
info.
structural changes to the passive tree. It's like if you log in with your old character, you're going to have like, your tree's going to get reset. You have to do stuff. There's things like that are going to happen that mean that, and also just balance changes, right? Like huge numbers of them. So you're going to have a better time playing from the start.
That's it. And speaking of the Huntress then, so we saw initial Huntress quite some time ago now and had some hands-on time with it and things, but I certainly, having played that before and played it now recently, the Huntress has...
Okay, chat. I get something better than the Q&A because they put the blog post out already. Hey, chat. They put the blog post out already for Dawn of the Hunt. So we're getting the Huntress together with the Ritualist and the Amazon. And the Amazon is going to be the new Invoker, 100%. We get 20 new Huntress skills. Yep, 20, chat. 20. We get, like, the Savage counterattacks. This is great, right? Using her Buckler, the Huntress can parry any attack before following up with a deadly counterattack that gives her major advantage. So you can just hold the parry, get attacked, the enemy gets primed with this red marker, and then boom. Plus, what do we have here? Primal Fury. Harness the ferocity of the wilds, tame beasts, whip up storms, and throw element fury at your enemies. I just really like that you can actually like tame beasts. And then you can ride a roar. Where can you find the original stream or video? The VOD will be on Twitch. So the stream is happening right now here on Twitch, right? And that's also where you can find the broadcast afterwards. But you have the, here, you have the video.
We as Mary are guided by the Spirit.
Ooh, that's loud, sorry.
It provides prey, shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The Spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all I loved, I used it.
No Druid? Nope. But the Huntress has everything.
Everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet.
I've never seen a greater asset to me, neither.
I've done. I'll do what I must, no matter the cost. I will hear the Spirit once more.
I like everything the Amazon has, like the whirling spears, the parrying, the blocking, the explosive spears into a fire worlds, the poison super dash, whatever that was. Then you can sacrifice to empower yourself. I do like these savage counterattacks, they're great. Like playing a parry build. I hope it's possible to play like a parry bleed build. That would be great. You know, like parry something, dash in, super bleed. With these Marian Wisp, they sound fun. Honestly, they make like a playthrough more interesting. The Rogue Exiles are gonna be good. I'm just like, I feel the Rogue Exiles could be sad for some builds that struggle with it, right? Hope they fix armor. We haven't heard anything about these buffs and nerfs, right? It's for like the patch notes to reveal. I mean, all in all, they really have it out for them. But here, that was the 20 new Huntress skills, the Ascendancy classes. So we have the Smith of Kadava, right? We got the Tactician and we get the Lich. Good choices. We generally get new skills. So we have Race Spectre, guys. And keep in mind, Race Spectre can be used by everyone. As long as you have the intelligence and the spirit, you should be able to raise a Spectre, right? So it might be that every build utilizes this in the future to get like a buffing dude. But I'm certainly interested to find out who should you summon. Bunch of Vile Goliaths. Can you summon bosses too? And then you get summon Roa. Okay, summon your friendly Roa to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your Roa. So either it's with you, or you just mount it to run around. I'm not really sure, like, do we really need a riding Roa? But I guess. We get 100 new support gems, so we have Loyalty. 10% of damage from hits is taken from supported companion's life before you. Minions from supported skills have 30% less maximum life. Could you play a cast on minion death with that one? Having your minions actually die while you take damage? Make a very low life, whatever. Cadence. Supported skills have a 10% more attack speed for each time they have been used recently. Supported skills are unusable for 10 seconds after being used 8 or more times within 4 seconds. What? Okay, so if I use my skill 7 times in 4 seconds with a bonus attack speed, then we're good. But if we use them too many times, then they're unusable. Is that like, are you going to use 2 spam skills and alternate between them? Is that the plan, chat? RIP. Renmans created by supported skills last for 8 seconds. Supported skills create a blood renman when dealing a killing blow to a bleeding enemy. Renmans created this way increase life regeneration by 10% for 5 seconds when collected up to a maximum of 100%. Renmans are created within 1.5 meter radius of the slain enemy. You could run through a map continuously having 100% bonus life regeneration. Considering that the warrior can go up to 400 life regenerated per second. You could get 800 life regeneration per second. Huh. Intriguing. Tear. 50% chance for on-kill effects caused by killing blows on bleeding enemies with the supported skills to occur twice. Okay. So I could get 2 rips. Like a rip and tear. That's the plan. So I tear and a rip. And I get 2 Renmans. We get new uniques. So we can see the wooden buckler. Mana, elemental resistance, increased accuracy rating, and parried enemies take more spell damage instead of more attack damage. I parry and then bonus spell damage. Okay. You get the Mjolnir Torment Club, 200 intelligence requirement, 100 strength requirement. Okay. Grants level 18 lightning spell on melee hit. What? 180% increase physical damage, 40% increase. Okay, so you play a what? you can hit people with lightning? So a Herald of Thunder Storm build? A Herald of Thunder warrior? That's so fun. Like, no matter if it's good or bad, right? It's fun. I'm totally with you. Grand skill, level 18 lightning spell on melee hit. The Thor build. Okay, Seraphi's Serape. Increased evasion and energy shield. 50% increased attribute requirements. Soul Eater. I don't know what Soul Eater does, but I guess you get empowered when you kill enemies. No new weapon type other than spear. Can you dual wield Mjolnir? Can you dual wield Mjolnir? The Fall of the Axe Silver Charm. Your speed is unaffected by slows. Used when you're affected by slows. Grants onslaught during effect. Okay. New encounters the Asmarian Wisps. We got new areas. Fractured Lake, Azomite Megalith, Silent Cave, and discover 5 more maps with also the what is he called again? The actual captain boss. So new endgame bosses. We get the Rogue Exiles. They're fun. We have the unique strong boxes. I kind of like that. And then endgame mechanic, Cleanse the Corruption. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I don't think it actually hurts, right? When you get these fracturing orbs and then you can fracture something to lock a stat in. And if I know I have a quarterstaff and I can lock the physical damage in and then just Chaos Orb reroll until I get the physical damage, why not? The unique chests still need some clarification for you. They're strong boxes, sir. They can randomly appear on a map and then you interact with them and they'll spawn monsters and do stuff. And give you loot if you beat the chest. That's kind of how it works. New economy if you want to. Improvements to the endgame system. I like the tower change. That if I do a tier 15 tower, it's beneficial for me. Because right now there was never a reason to do anything but a tier 1 tower. Okay? But currently, if I do a tier 15 tower, I can influence more maps around it, and I can put like 32 maps in range contain breaches, 28 maps in range contain expedite. Like, this is going to be fantastic to put like bosses and everything everywhere. The corrupted essences are going to be intriguing. I can't wait for that boss map to actually play it too. So truly good fun. Like right now, I'm not the slightest disappointed by what I have seen. Right. This is still quiet as fuck.
Look back at the first ones and be like, ooh.
Can't hear shit.
That is the worry, but whatever.
But look, with that just means we've got another round of going through everything and improving stuff again, right? So
and that will never end.
Find these Q&As always useless personally.
So with the parry came the kind of looking at the player getting stunned, in particular player heavy stun. So it's always hard to tell players like, hey, we're going to do something to you and it's going to be a bad thing.
They talk about
You're not gonna
crafting
like this.
new
Well, the funny
crafting
thing about
materials.
There's a few things like that actually. Because,
It's still RNG.
So I mean, for a start, like we needed the downside of parry to be, you know, like that. Yeah, you get stunned out of it. But then when we're looking at how long, like we're like, okay, right now,
New stuff
even-
available
and
April
it's true
4th,
the
yes.
shield block as well. By the way, it's like if you get stunned out of that, the amount of time.
Yeah,
that
I'll
you
watch
get
the
stunned
Q&A
out
and post.
for
Exactly.
is actually not even enough time for most bosses to do a follow-up attack on you. And it's like, well, where's the downside if it doesn't even have enough time? So we did have to extend that out a little bit, and it makes you a little bit more careful. But in just to warn people, right? There's a few other things like we lowered what's it called, the I can't remember the name of that thing now. The thing that makes you more easy to be elemental statuses apply to you. Ailment threshold. That's right, ailment threshold. Yeah. So we lowered ailment threshold to actually make it so the player has those mechanics happen more to them, right? Because like right now through campaign, like you barely get frozen or burning or shocked, really, to be honest. Yeah. So there's stuff like that we've had to do to kind of make sure that you know that because if you don't have that,
Six
stuff
Portal is back.
Happen to you.
6 Portal is not back. 6 Portal is technically back. What's going to happen now in the end game is that you go in with a non-magic rune, 6 portals. You make the rune magic, 5 portals. You make the rune rare, 3 portals. You add more modifiers, 1 portal. So the more you juice up a map, the less portals you have. Okay? But, and this is the best change, if I understood this correctly, if you start a boss encounter on a map, whatever the tier is, you have 6 tries. Did I understand this correct, chat? Okay, listen. If you start a map, there's a boss on it. You reach the boss, and you start the boss fight. Then you have 6 tries on that boss. Because you have 6 portals. And I think that's pretty good. Chuck, the bonus portals are for the whole map, unless you have your map fully juiced up with exalts, with the alchemies, whatever. It depends on the waystone you use. No. I think the boss thingy said it's always 6. Sadly, I cannot go back in the VOD yet because Twitch kind of sucks when it comes down to this. Like going for, like, see, you'd have to go for Twitch TV, Path of Exile, /videos to find the actual past broadcast, and you can only find the actual live stream, right? So finding like here, I can actually interact with this already, so that's good. I wonder if I can actually download this one. So we have this. So like you have here the waystones.
Making as you can now respawn and return to a map if you die. Continuing from where you left off. When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map. As you add more modifiers to a...
See, this is a map, number of portals, tier 6, 2 modifiers.
A waystone, the number of respawns
We got number of portals 3, you have 6 modifiers.
goes down.
And then we have also here, waystone drop chance tier 6, this has 1 portal.
This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
But now let's wait for the boss fight thingy, because I need to rehear this.
In parties, everyone gets to respawn that
Okay, in parties, everyone gets 3 respawns then.
number of times. But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we
5 portals remaining. You have died? 5 portals remaining.
use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time.
I understand. I'm not crazy. I understood this correct, right? You and me, we understand this. Right? We're not stupid. We're smart people.
Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either.
I kind of like this because, I mean, either I go fight the Arbiter when I'm leveled, right? I have to wait until I'm leveled, or just don't have him give me experience. He only talks about the party owner, Carrie. Yeah, but so far, like, Carrie, it sounds like for parties, but it's weirdly worded. It says, like, in a boss fight, you die versus the Arbiter, and you have 5 attempts remaining. And I think, like, it was a bit confusing how they mentioned that it's boss fights, but it's not just boss fights. By the way, let me actually see if I can download this already. Because I obviously want to have that live stream. Can you give it to me? Fuck. It's hard to rip things from Twitch. I need that live stream.
Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys.
When does this
from
release?
Early access supporter
September.
packs.
September. 4th of April.
These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the
Exclusive reveal.
The live stream started at 58. Sorry, I'm just like trying to steal this video from the internet. important. I want to download the live stream, muffle the audio, and give it ASMR whisper filter.
I've done.
I mean, there is like, I want this so we can talk about the Huntress, because they have shown way more about the Huntress in this. The Huntress is getting bleeding skills, but the bleeding skills on the Huntress are amazing because they make enemies explode. So you pretty much apply bleeding to them, then they bleed over time. Wait, did they actually show the skill gem? You killed the guy, like, and then you have like bleed explosions happening left, right, and center. Did they? No, they never hovered over this. That's sad. The idea with having more portals is, so why are we doing the more portals? Because if you're good, you don't need the more attempts. But if you suck, you need the more attempts. Kinda. Right? That's the way how it goes. Oh shit, I think I'm accidentally downloading this live stream multiple times, chat. Okay, I'm already downloading the live stream, but sadly it's a couple of gigabytes big. But I should be having this one so we can sift through. I'll obviously create some videos now in the up and coming days because not all of you could watch the whole live stream. There is a lot of information. It was an hour long of things blasting in your mind. I think the most important points right now that we have are really what's in the blog post. So if you missed something, I can highly recommend you to check out the blog post here. I can throw this out to everyone that hasn't seen it yet. This has like the rough what is coming, right? We get the Dawn of the Hunt. We get the 2 ascendancies. However they're gonna work. This is the new invoker. She's the new invoker, chat. We're gonna have to take her picture and put that into a thumbnail. Then we get tons of skills, and this is like the coolest part about the Huntress, of doing like this whirlwind around you. And if you do the whirlwind around you on shocked ground, it does release shocking tornadoes. If you do it on frozen ground, frozen tornadoes. If you do it on fire ground, fire tornadoes. But what if you have a shocked ground and ignited ground below you? Does it then make fire ice tornadoes? Do they have patch notes listed somewhere? They sadly did not give us patch notes yet. I checked their Twitter because I wanted to make double sure that I'm not stupid. And we had like here, this was Path of Exile, Dawn of the Hunt, latest tweet an hour ago. We haven't seen anything else. Then let's see more answers. They put out the Hunter spear wielding, blah, blah, blah. With the spear in one hand. So there's some more the first ascension, right? There's some like just some more informations, a bunch of tweets. But no kind of... this is the Huntress unique items. Here, that was crazy. Aggravating any bleeding with this weapon also aggravates all ignites on the target. Yeah. Beautiful. Huntress is going to be wild. I can't wait to make a bleeding Huntress. I think it's going to be really fun. Then we get these talismans, and I didn't understand. We approach the wisp will flee, and monsters comes into contact with will be infused by it, making them more powerful. You get these boar talismans, and I can use them to enchant, or do I slot this in? Place into an empty rune socket in a there you go. In a martial weapon or armor to apply its effect to that item. So this one has to go into gloves, and then you gain 1 rage on melee hit. I mean, that alone is like so worth it. Either you do it over a jewel or that, right? What are your thoughts on patch 02 so far? With the things they are adding, I do believe the gameplay experience is going to be better. Keep in mind now, okay, I think this kind of fell through, chat, because they didn't really, I don't think they emphasized this enough, and it's very important that they emphasize this. Because right now, we're not getting Act 3, 4, and 5, right? But they're adding these as Marion Wisps thingy. Let's see, where were those wisps? And the wisps are pretty much going to change your playthrough completely. Because now as you're going through the game, you will then have these wisps appearing that corrupt opponents and make them stronger. And then you have to hunt them down, right? And kill this. But this will happen during the campaign already. This will happen in Act 1. So from Act 1 on to the end of Act 3 Cruel, you will have on top of your normal playthrough also the wisps to deal with, and you can get the new talismans, right? I mean, imagine you get this one early. Ladies and gentlemen, where's it? No, too many windows open. So imagine you get this one early. Like the gain 1 rage on melee hit. Fuck yeah. That's great. This is something like, right? You might be playing Act 1 to Act 3 Cruel again, but it's not going to be the same Act 1 to Act 3 Cruel. It's going to be a different Act 1 to Act 3 Cruel. There's still a Twitch drop. Yes, the Twitch drop is still happening. If you're watching the stream right now on Twitch, you're still getting that guillotine executioner thingy. And you have chance until tomorrow, 6 a.m. German time. Okay? So you get throughout all the night the time to get these. Okay, tomorrow we're going to have to make a Huntress video. I don't think I'm going to make one tonight because I'm too tired for it. I would make a shoddy video. So I'm going to make one tomorrow, wrapping up all the Huntress stuff. And then I'm gonna be like, we're gonna get like a couple of videos in the next days, okay, Chad? I think I'm not gonna flood you with one big video. It's gonna be like, you know, like the Huntress, and then how does the new Lich work? How does the new Smith work? So I'm gonna break it all down for you bit by bit, over the next couple of days, with also the endgame changes and all that stuff. But obviously also for release, gonna be plenty interesting. I mean, like it's no help if we like try to overload you with information, right? Just get it out there. I'm not sure what to think on the Roa right now. Are you gonna use the mount, Chad? It seems like I can't decide if I'm even remotely interested. Yeah, they haven't revealed all the gems yet. I mean, they have shown us gems, but sadly they have like really glanced over it. So it wasn't like they didn't. Here. Unsteady tempo. First attack in sequence with supported skills inflicts hobble on you equal to 40% of your life. Second attack in sequence with supported skill has 30% more chance to critical hit. Third attack in sequence with supported skill deals 20% more damage. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to use this as a monk for Ice Strike and just have more crit hit and then more damage and then more crit hit and more damage. What is hobble? Yeah. Alignment. Supported skills indicate one of 4 directions. Indicated direction changes when an attack with supported skill matches indicated direction. Supported skills deals 30% more projectile damage when attacking an indicated direction. Okay. Okay. I don't like this. Alone reading this made me sad, you know? I wanted to know what these things were that were popping up. Because we had the death. Okay, that is scattershot. For more projectiles. And then they added Spectral Volley. Attacks with supported skills create a spectral projectile. Spectral projectiles will fire if no spectral projectiles have been created in the last 3 seconds. Supported skills deal 60% less damage when not fired from spectral projectiles. Supported skills deal 20% more damage when fired from spectral projectiles. Supports bow or spear attacks you use yourself. Supported skills deal lower damage initially, but generate spectral projectiles, which deal more damage when they fire. But if you can make a maximum of 5 projectiles, then if I make 5, after 3 seconds, they'll launch, and then I start again. Correct? That's at least how I would understand it, right? So I'm going to spam, and then that happens. Okay, what does hemocrystals do? Hemocrystals are for bleeding. Supports attack skills you use yourself, which can cause damaging hits. Supported attacks cannot cause bleeding. Supported skills consume bleeding on enemies they hit, creating 4 hemocrystals. And then you have 20 active hemocrystals. The hemocrystals, they cannot cause bleeding too. They have a radius of 1 meter. Hemocrystals detonate after 1.5 seconds. Hemocrystals are randomly created within 2.5 meters of the consumed bleed. Hemocrystals deal damage equal to 8% of the expected remaining damage of the consumed bleed. So you pretty much create nukes. I like that you can do this on an enemy without killing it. Right? Because like a lot of the bleed stuff is like on kill. But being able to do this without killing is good. By the way, this is 1:15 chat. I have the stream downloaded. Ta-da. That's now vastly better, right? Because I can like don't have to go through the live stream. We have everything here for us. Now I don't remember where I was with the skills though, but I have the whole thing already for myself, which is a good thing. Sent me a file. The file is 8 gigabytes. Okay, I think this was Caltrops. Okay, projectiles from supported skills trigger Caltrops when they reach the end of their flight. And then Caltrops increases and reduction to thorns damage applied to hit damage with this skill. Maim on hit. Caltrop radius is 0.5 meters. Caltrops land within a 3 meter radius of projectile impact. Caltrop duration is 8 seconds. Deal 60% of your dexterity as physical damage on hit. It's going to be hard to use them as main damage. Right? But look at that. There's auto reload, arm's length, whatever that is, acrimony, abiding hex, bring, commiserate, desperation, dire strike. What's dire strike? Delayed gratification. Okay. Enormity. Minions from supported skills have 20% increased size. Minions from supported skills deal 20% more damage. And minions from supported skills have 20% more maximum life. You know what the interesting part is? Detonate dead. Does that work? 20% more maximum life is insane for detonate dead. And is the radius bigger if the minion is bigger? Chat. It says there is a reservation multiplier though, right? Additional reservation is 10% and then reservation multiplier is 130%. This is like probably can't really use this, huh? Unsteady tempo, we had that. It's funny that they're showing Ice Strike Monks. Profanity. Supported skills consume a corpse within 5 meters on use if possible. Supported skills deal 30% more chaos damage if consuming a corpse. Ah. If you use this together with sacrifice, can I then consume my own minions? Because it says supported skills consume a corpse, okay? Within 5 meters on use if possible. And I do more chaos damage. But if I now play the Sacrifice skill gem, the Sacrifice skill gem allows me to use my own skeletons as corpses. So if I use Profanity as a chaos player, and then I sacrifice my own minions to empower my chaos spells. Okay. Retaliate. Supported skills deal up to 40% more damage, scaling up as your stun bar increases. Huh. So if enemies hit me and I get close to being stunned, then I do more damage. Intriguing. Syzygy. Hits from supported skills are considered crushing blows against ignited and fully armor-broken enemies. Heavily stunning enemies which are ignited and fully armor-broken with supported skills will permanently intimidate them. Okay. I guess. Have they announced any changes and reworks? Purple Heart, they haven't said anything. They haven't said anything about buffs and nerfs. But they said if they do an economy reset, they will do buffs and nerfs. I think it was a smart move. So they haven't said a single fucking word. You don't know if existing stuff is going to get better, worse, whatever. But why would they talk about this when they're trying to hype up what they're doing? Because right now they wanted to build hype. They wanted to be like bam, 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 bam. And they clearly did not want you to worry about things getting nerfed, right? But certainly there will be nerfs and buffs. They haven't given us the patch notes yet, which is a little bit sad, I gotta say. So I was hoping that we would actually see the patch notes. Sadly, I'm in no creator Discord, so I can't really, yeah. Do they have the full video on YouTube too? Oh, they have the full video chat with timestamps. Look at these lads. Perfect. Very well released. Good job, Path of Exile. Mac Elster, thank you for the 29 months of support. Okay, Chad. I think I am excited. I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to this. We're going to shut this stream down. I'll be back tomorrow, 3 a.m. I'm going to make the video on Huntress first, wrapping up all the Huntress details. Then we're going to do Endgame details. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to show you all of it. Can't wait to break this complete down, rewatch this in peace and silence, so we can think how this is going to be. But I already promise you, on release, Huntress starter build, 2 Huntress builds. We're gonna do a Ritualist Huntress. We're gonna do a Spear Mistress Huntress. It's all gonna come, and I'm really looking forward to this. So thank you very much for watching the reveal here with me. I mean, we have had thousands of viewers, which is crazy. I'm going to put the VOD of this stream live. Also, going to be adding some timestamps. So if you want to rewatch the VOD, you have everything there condensed in one stream. That being said, I'm out for tonight. I wish you a great good evening. Thank you for watching.